I can put on my computer, I can put whatever document that you may have sent in email over to the right and look at it, at the same time I'm looking at you guys. Can you do
Oh.
that on yours?
Um,
Or are
haven't
you
really
on
tried.
phone?
We're being recorded now, so
So,
we might.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
know.
So I'm going to bring the operations subcommittee meeting to order on April 10th at 9:30 to 10:30 today. And we have all of our participants here today, Patty and Maureen and myself. So everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda. And we're ready to convene. So let's take a look at the minutes and if we approve the minutes, somebody will make a motion to do that. So let's have a
I move that we approve the minutes of the last meeting.
second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved.
Okay.
So moving it down on the agenda, we'll look at review public records language.
All right, so I shared the public records language with Amy Vera. I sent it to Kevin, I sent it to Olivia, I think I sent it to Paul. And I realized that we needed to have this looked over, and Amy responded. She is going to suggest some tweaks to it.
Mm.
You know what her objection was? After all that we went through, she said it's too broad. That it's hard to understand all the public documents. She thinks we should specify county council documents, planning documents, the way we started talking about it, and then abandon that. So she's going to look at it next week and give us some new language, and I think we'll just incorporate it. I'm also removing from this discussion that these will not appear in the personnel manual, this section. I have it in it's number 2 of our task list. And in it, I say the language will be included in the charter and in the section, because you're supposed to put, when you're making a proposed amendment, you're supposed to put the area of the charter it's going to affect.
Yes.
So we have it in for the charter, but this doesn't go in the personnel manual at all.
Okay.
So
okay.
that language would be removed.
Okay.
And so she's just gonna come up with a different way of saying this. I mean, basically the same thing, but with more specificity.
So Maureen, can we talk about that particular, those particular tasks that we were talking about? You're looking at, I'm looking at the minutes on page 3.
The minutes or the task list.
Well, yeah.
That's where I'm referring to.
Okay, I've got the task list too.
Okay. And that's on page 3 under number 2.
Right.
I had him up yesterday. Now I'm trying to find him again. When did you send those? I'm looking in my emails to try to find it.
I sent everything, I think April 6th, that's what I've dated it. I sent all the materials early this time.
And they were all on one, right? I mean, it was one.
Well, there was one email and the 3 attachments.
Exactly.
The agenda, the minutes, and this.
So I've got the one open and it only has the agenda. So now I have to see if maybe it'll give me the other 2 documents.
So it's under priority task list updated April 6th.
Yes.
21.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it is on number 2.
Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I really dislike this whole system that we've got here. But
I think if you agree to this, Paul.
Well,
okay.
I'm trying to find out, Maureen, is this what the wording that you have here is what we want to put in the charter? Under number 2?
On page 3.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the yellowed area. This is what we agreed on. We have not voted on this yet, but we are holding now because Amy is going to change some of the words on it.
Right.
It took her some time to understand what we were trying to do, what we were trying to accomplish, but she told me something very interesting, because I said the reason we're doing this is because materials are not available on the website. And I went through the website and the files are not there.
Hmm.
She said there was a horrible, she called it an accident with whatever they had material, documents,
Uh-huh.
and some software, and everything went wrong when they tried to blend them. And so she said they're still trying to work on it. So it's really good that we're doing this because we're putting it out that you have to do this.
Right.
The county will frequently have a problem and they'll start working on it and then they abandon it to deal with another problem. And this is one of those cases.
So just so I understand, even though it may not be worded in the way that it will go into charter specifically, do we want to approve it as a in concept?
I think we should approve it when it's done.
Okay.
Don't you, Patty?
That's fine. Yes.
Yeah,
So
I don't want to approve
Sure.
partially, we should just get this. Oh, and I think it'll just go quickly. We'll have another meeting and that will be it.
Well, since it's already part of the tasks, priority task list, we've already agreed that this is something we want to have. It's just,
Yes.
just get the wording down. Isn't that right?
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
what I thought I would do for the day that we make a report, I'm going to put all of this on one sheet.
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The motion,
Mhm.
the outcome, and any supporting words we want to put on it.
Okay.
I'll send that to you, Paul, and you can
Sure.
add or subtract as you think. Okay? I'll
Yeah,
send
I'd be
it
happy
you,
to.
Patty.
Same
But
thing, Patty.
Rather than have all these pages, the commission doesn't need to see our notes on this. They just
No.
need to see what
Yes.
we did. Because we're going to have to verbally explain it. And when that time comes, I think all of us should talk.
Mhm.
Everybody should kick in something because it's better.
We always do.
Okay, good.
But it's your baby, Maureen.
It is.
No, I remember, well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's another part of this, which is,
Are we still on the task?
yes,
Okay, on page 5.
we're page 4, we're past ombudsman. We're not doing that. Remember, we agreed we're not going to pursue that any further. Now, this is the personnel manual on boards and commissions regarding bullying
Yeah.
and all that stuff. So I sent this to James Wood, and he is out of town this past week, so he'll be looking at it next week. And then when he comes back, I'm going to also send it to Amy. She asked to see it as well.
Good
And that's good. And that means that we should be ready to just put our tasks to bed by next.
Okay. So that's good. So it looks like they're already in movement as we speak, and we're just waiting for a final draft.
Right.
Okay. Is there anything else, Maureen?
Not on this, because I
Okay.
think this is done. I'm just going to shorten it to one page and make it easier to read.
Thank you.
And the next one is one we want to talk about, Paul, on the agenda.
Okay, and we're talking about review statement on boards committees. Is that what you're talking about?
We
No?
just did that.
Okay, salary.
Yeah.
I sent out something to you this morning.
Oh, did you?
I was going to say thank you. That looked good. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Well, it's the same thing I sent out before, where it shows the different selected salaries of the Public Works, Community Development, IT Department Head, HR Manager, those salaries, and then what the actual salaries for the elected were. And then I put down proposed salaries. And I understand that this is just a proposal, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So are we going to make a recommendation on that? Remember, we talked about maybe doing a memorandum with other things that are kind of loose issues that don't really go in the charter, but that the full commission might want to recommend to the council, salary commission, and whomever else.
Well, I'd like to have a little discussion on this, whether you think that this is too pointed, I guess that's the word I want to use for the CRC, or do you think it's all right just to put in some examples of salaries and make a proposal to the whole CRC. Yeah, Patty?
Yeah, I think we need to bring this to the attention of the CRC that it is a very important element. And yes, it's controversial because elected and appointed have different requirements, and the appointed, I know, are vetted, whereas the electeds aren't necessarily, but it's something that is really not fair in our system. I mean, it's totally not fair. And so we need to bring that up to the full commission to say that, hey, this is the way it is. And maybe we're losing the quality of our electeds by doing it this way. Who knows? But we need to make these fair. And I don't think we have a way of putting it in the charter necessarily. I think we need to bring it there that this, maybe they can address the salary commission, you know, that we heard about, and we're wondering why they chose what they chose for their things for San Juan County. But, you know, it's a problem. I'm not sure if we can put it in the charter necessarily to solve it, but we need to bring it to the full commission.
Yeah, I think you're right, Patty, and it's not intended to go in the charter itself. We're talking about it's just kind of bringing it up to the whole CRC as to what advice that can we give to the council. I'm talking about the county council as to how we can rectify these salaries.
Yes.
And I think the other thing that needs to be brought out too as well is that these elected people are working. They are working heads of their elected offices, and it has been, I know, for the assessor's office for over 45 years. So this is nothing new. Yeah, okay. I'm kind of beating it to death here, but
No, I appreciate what you're saying, but I think we need to take it a step further. I think we have to make a recommendation, and maybe we should vote on this, to the full commission, that we would like to see a memorandum sent to the county council, the salary commission, and probably human resources, with a strong request for a review of the disparity.
Yeah.
I mean, then they have to look at it.
yeah, go ahead, Patty.
One other consideration is that I don't know, when we find out in the full commission meeting, I'm not sure whether the electeds versus appointeds are going to change anything there, which, you know, might make a difference to some of this, but probably they're not going to take the assessor, for instance, and appoint them. Probably not, as far as recommendation. I don't really know. And the assessor's office needs to be raised. So I agree with what you're saying, that we need to put some kind of a recommendation out there for them, whether it'll go in the charter or not. But yes, that would.
It can't go in the charter. There's no,
Exactly.
No,
yeah.
There's no place for it.
Yeah.
I
That's
know.
right.
And it isn't our job to set salaries, but we can make a recommendation to those parties and say, and the whole commission has to make it. Now, here's a problem. There's a lot of people in our commission, the full commission, that are looking for monies for the climate environment person.
Mhm.
And they are, you know, there may be, Paul, I've had this conversation. They may, Paul and I are on the elected versus appointed, and we have
okay.
decided to not change the status of the 5 electeds, to leave them
Really?
as they are.
Really?
And that may go back to the full commission floor, because I think some people think that that's the way to get the salary for the climate person.
I understand.
Yeah, can we talk about that just for a second? I know
Sure.
it's not exactly a part of our agenda, but it's something we are all interested in. As mentioned, when Anne Marie was making her talk last Wednesday, I was thinking about how this could be resolved. And I did say something at the meeting about the
Yes.
possibility of putting, using a tax rate.
Yep.
In other words, you could put out a proposition to the voters if they want this and is approved, to have this new person coming in as an elected position. You could have another proposition that relates to that, so that in order to fund this new elected position, the voters approve of so many dollars per assessed thousand or whatever to which it would give how many dollars. So I did a little thing. I took out what the assessed value current is for the entire county. And I put a nickel in there. And that would raise over $400,000. Just a
Wow.
nickel, just a nickel.
Wow.
So if you put a dime in there, that's going to be over $800,000. So, it doesn't, when you make it that way, it doesn't sound like much when you're talking about 5 cents
A dime or a nickel per thousand, is that?
per assessed thousand of assessed value. That's right. That's
Okay.
how it works.
And
So-
I thought that was a powerful recommendation from you, and nobody said anything. I was so surprised because I thought
Maybe
it was excellent.
They may not really understand how it works. The only problem with that is once it's voted in by the electorate, and let's say it's a nickel, 5 cents per assessed thousand for the entire assessed value of the county, which is over $8 billion. That stays at a nickel. The only thing that changes in terms of how that would increase over time is the increase in the assessed value of the county. Do you follow me?
Yes.
So if it's like 8 billion now, and let's say it goes to 9 billion in say 10 years. So that nickel is not times the 8 billion, but if it becomes in 10 years from now, 9 billion, then you can see an escalation of the actual income coming in. Do you follow me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out how much that would be, say, a homeowner has a $500,000 property. How much would that raise their taxes by?
Well, just take a nickel times 500. I get my look. About 25 bucks.
$25, that's all it would cost?
Well, in her example,
Yeah,
So if they have $1 million, then it'd be $50.
yeah.
yeah.
If they have a $2 million property, it would raise it by 100.
But you understand, this is the whole county you're talking about in terms of value.
No, I know. I'm just
So it's
talking
large.
about, I'm talking about individual people that have to pay their taxes, and their taxes are going, mine just went up by an amazing amount this year. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be able to keep affording this place, but I have to. Yeah, so I mean, everybody's going to look at the bottom line and say, but sure, over the year, they can afford another $50 or $100. They have to think about that. And those people that want a conservation officer will.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, let me ask you this. How do you get that on a ballot?
Well, like I said, it would have to be a separate proposition. And so you have a ballot, for instance, maybe to approve of this office. Then you'd have to have a separate, I'm kind of talking legally, which I can't really do. This is kind of a Randy question, but I'm surmising that it would have a separate proposition that would relate to that office. And this would be how you would fund it through a separate proposition that would have to be approved by the electorate. Patty?
We have definitely had those before on the ballot.
Yes, we
We have
have.
something, and then we have a separate thing for funding.
Yeah.
Is there let me ask you this, to make that kind of a proposal on this year's ballot, to do these two things currently, announce that we're looking to have this new department and we will have to raise taxes to do it. Is there a deadline? I mean, do you have like till June to get registered for the ballot? I mean, how does that work?
That's really going to be a Randy question because I don't get into that part of it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, but he would know how to set that up.
okay, okay. Because yeah, I've been checking out some other things, and I'm finding that there's so much passion from a group of our commissioners about this, but passion doesn't pay the bills.
No,
And what I've just, I've been trying to figure out how to tell them, and I'm going to be writing some emails to that
Yeah.
committee. Because you know what? It's not just a salary, an elected salary. I checked it out. There's every department has to pay an allocation to IT. There's an allocation to facilities, which is the spaces where office spaces. Then there is a Mylene department now assesses each department for supplies. Then there is utilities assessed. Then there's risk management, which everybody has to pay a share
oh
of.
my, Maureen.
And then there's benefits that go
Yeah.
with it. And there's no way we can hire or elect a commissioner,
Right.
or excuse me, a whatever we call them,
whatever we call them.
without a staff. I mean, there's no way that person can do everything. And
Yeah.
write bills and set policy. There has to be some staff. So it's really about a $500,000. That's in my head.
Yeah, well, yeah, somebody's got to sit down and really go through the figures as to what it would cost. I mean, be realistic. I'm not sure why we call it a commission. Why do we call it an elected official like other elected officials?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to call them, but my thing is, I'm not trying to oppose what they're saying. I'm just
Right.
trying to help them make a better argument,
Right.
you know, and that's where I'm coming from. And they need to know this stuff because
Yeah.
they're, you know, it's just getting defensive. The idea is getting to be defensive, and it doesn't need to be.
Patty?
So we aren't on that committee, but we can certainly write them or even attend meetings or whatever. I really strongly think that Paul's suggestion of funding it with a proposal is a really good one, and we should
Yeah.
encourage them to take it up.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good.
Then you put the lien on the public. I mean, if they want it, you're gonna
They
have to
want
pay
it, they
for
pay
it.
for it. Yep,
Bingo.
and they've done it before.
And
Yep,
then they can use their argument about priorities, you know,
Yep.
what are priorities for the
yeah,
incredible place we're in. So,
yeah.
yeah, okay. So that's great. And I really want to look at what you sent. And I think that we should attach that when I do the one sheet,
Well,
we'll attach your figures so that we can let the full commission
As
know.
an example, yeah.
yeah, it's on that same sheet. I do like to have you take a look at those and see if they're actually realistic incomes that we've been talking about. But that would give parity with the rest of the administration, excuse me, of those other departments.
And we don't have control over it. It would still have to be
No.
approved by the
Yep.
the Citizen Salary Commission. So,
I guess.
but it's still a great idea.
Right. And
Hey,
these
Patty?
they are suggested to give
Yep.
parity, just like you said.
Yeah,
And what they do with them is something else. I mean, you had
well,
what you had done earlier about going to different counties and doing the means or the averages and, you know, how they
Mm.
set theirs. That was pretty powerful too, to show that ours were quite a bit lower.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained, the way I look at it. You know, put it out there.
That's
Put it out
great. No, that's great. So are we in agreement then that we are going to, because I don't know whether we're on next week or not. Does anybody know? Kevin keeps putting elected and operations on, and I keep writing him back and going, no, you can't do that. We can't. So it's like, I feel like I'm banging my head on the wall.
Well, can we tie this up, do you think, next Saturday?
I believe so.
I think we can, and we'll, if we agree to meet at 9:30 again, is that okay, Patty?
Yeah, no, that's fine. And if you have to meet at 9, I can handle it.
No, we've already made the transition now. We're 19.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sweet.
think
All
we'll do
right.
that. And do we need to vote on making this recommendation?
I think so. That would be wise, I think. What do you think, Patty?
So I'll make the motion. I'll
Okay,
make the motion
I'll
that
second.
Operations Committee recommends to the full commission that that we send a memorandum to County Council, Citizen Salary Commission, and the HR for the purposes of reviewing the disparity in the salaries for electeds.
Yeah.
Okay,
got a second? All right.
I'm the second, yeah.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye,
Aye.
it's done.
Okay, great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
tight.
thank you. Yeah, this is great. Looks like we're coming.
Looks like,
to the sunset here.
Yeah, we're down to public comment at this point.
Yeah.
Anybody here?
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Okay.
So we already talked a little bit about a future agenda just a moment ago.
And that will be to review whatever Amy gives us and to share whatever James Wolfe responds to in the
Yep.
second part. So those would be the only two things I can think of.
All
And
right.
finalize that for presenting to the full commission.
Okay, so it will be records.
And Marina, I just want to thank you so much for what you've done in this and putting this all together. You have worked tirelessly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
I
you very much.
second the motion.
Well,
And thank you
You know-
for your input, Patty.
yeah.
That's all I do, but hey,
It's good. It's good, good input.
What I find interesting here is we've shifted things. We started out with some topics that we kind of made them smaller, and then we said we're not going to do them. I mean, I think we did a lot of shifting, which was probably a good thing to do. I
you did
noticed,
give them good discussion though, and that's important.
yeah,
Yeah, I totally agree.
I got a thing. Did you guys get that from governance?
Yes,
It has a full one page of all of their. It's on a spreadsheet.
yeah,
Who
But
did that
it's-
come from? Oh, there it is. Yes,
I think it came from Catherine,
yeah,
yes.
I think it did
I'm
too.
opening right now. so-
Yeah.
and a lot of their stuff they discarded as well. I mean,
Mhm.
Sure.
they just decided to not pursue any further
have
discussion.
You can't
Yeah.
do everything.
Yeah,
There it is. Okay. And this is in the format that they like, which is in Excel. And then
Yes.
go across and okay, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
there. It's just,
I'm
not-
old fashioned. I like to read it on a ladder.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but it's
Okay.
good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Are we ready to?
I moved that we adjourn.
Okay, all right, Patty's already done it. Okay.
I'm fine. That's great.
Anything else? Okay, we're, all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you all so much,
Thank you,
Patty.
guys.
We are adjourned. Thank you too.
We'll see you next week.
You
I'll
bet.
yeah, we sure will.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Have a great
Just
day.
shut the recording off.
Stop the recording.